Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Center for Child Development and Delaware Center for Counseling and Wellness. My name is Shea Marriott. I am the Director of Marketing and Business Relationships. Today, we are in the therapy room, and I have a special guest. Welcome, Keegan Myers. Hi, Keegan. How are you?
How you guys doing? I'm good. I'm good. Shay, thank you for having me come out here. It's a great time. Thank you.
Absolutely. You are very welcome. Keegan, I invited you into the therapy room because I want people to get to know who you are and understand how important it is for people to come out for therapy, especially if there's some issues going on within their marriage or with their family. So you have a special expertise that I want to introduce to people. Can you please let everybody know who you are and what you specialize in?
Yes, ma'am. So, first off, nice to meet you guys. So, my name is Keegan Myers. I actually specialize in marriage and family therapy. I actually have my degree in marriage and family therapy. I have my master's in marriage and family therapy from North Central University out of San Diego. It was an online program, but we were able to learn a lot about families and know how to dissect different situations with different cohorts and different ideas when it turns to learning how to navigate through marriage and different ideas with that as well.
So, Keegan, I have a question. Why did you choose marriage and family as your specialty?
Yeah, so just a little bit about myself too. So I also give you the preliminary. So I am 27 years old, and actually I've been married for 5 years now. I got married and when I was 22 years old. And what I think the reason why I kind of like strayed towards marriage and family therapy even before I got married was I realized that like I was a person that understood the dynamics of family and how much that dynamic kind of plays out in how you react to people in a natural sense when it comes to like having friends or business relationships or whatever. And I realized that all kind of started from the idea of people understanding that they have to navigate how they react in the family realm, whether it comes to like talking to their siblings or talking to their mother or father or whatever. So whatever that kind of deals with. And I realized that when it came to family, that how that stems, like, with the siblings and the children, it kind of stems from the marriage. If the marriage is good in some ways, then they'll be able to explain it and kind of give those different attributes to their children within the family cohort and understanding of that. So I realized that like if I want to learn more about the family, I have to start with the head of the family, which will be the marriage. So that's where I'm kind of glad they kind of work together in that way. But I kind of want to start there because even with my own situation, like I have both my parents were in my household, and I was grateful to do that and have that. But in reality, there was still a place where I wanted to learn more about how we can how the dynamics of their relationship kind of played out and how I treat my wife or how I talk to my sister or how I talk to my brother in any different way. So I tried to figure that out. And I guess the best way to do was to learn about it through a different lens in psychology. So there you go.
Right. Okay, good. Excellent. So who would be your ideal client?
Yes. So I guess my ideal client would be somebody who is one who's willing to learn more about themselves and learn about more about relationship. But I feel like a lot of times my clients will more so kind of glean from the one who is trying to understand what they want next in their relationship. It doesn't have to necessarily be in a bad place. They don't have to necessarily be in a place where they are struggling with divorce or infidelity or whatever. Now, those clients can still be a part of this situation. So I'm not gonna say I won't necessarily work with those type of clients as well. I have I have room for everybody at this point. But the ideal client will be somebody who is willing to kind of understand what is next for a relationship and how they can navigate through those different terminologies and understanding different ways to communicate within a relationship as well.
Okay, great. Now I do have a question. Now, do you do premarital counseling as well?
So, with premarital counseling, I think that's a different situation. What I was taught when we were learning more about marriage and family therapies, that premarital would be more so for somebody who is like maybe like an ordained minister or something like that who would try to do premarital counseling. And the crazy thing about it is that I actually am a licensed minister in the faith as well. But in reality, I wouldn't necessarily do premarital counseling from a standpoint of trying to marry somebody. However, if you feel like you are a couple and you're someone who is trying to figure out if you want to marry this person, we could definitely try to figure out how we can learn different ways to communicate and learn how to figure out what will be best for you guys. I don't want to sit here and say that I control like whether you guys want to get married or not. But if you guys have that thought process or a question, I'm definitely somebody you could talk to about those things.
Right. Okay. So how can someone identify actually when they need to reach out to you in
Mm.
their marriage and in their family? Like, what are some of the things that might come up, then for
Mhm.
someone to say, okay, yeah, it's time to reach out to someone.
Yeah. So I would say, let's go with a different route. So when it comes to family, I'll say with family first, then we'll go to marriage. Well, so when we go to family, I personally believe that right around that time where, well, if there's a situation where one of your kids are dealing with a disorder, whether it be depression or major depression disorder, or even like different stuff when they get to like their teenage years, like anorexia or bulimia, or like some type of suicidal ideation or something like that, or even anxiety. And if you like are recognizing those things and stuff like that, and you see like you feel as if the communication between you and your child, or you or your children in general, is like kind of strained, you can't understand why that's happening, that would be a perfect time for us to talk and also figure out a way that we can like kind of like understand how to create a better dynamic in that. Because honestly, there's something wrong with the communication. It's just that their people are changing, so we want to try, but we want to try the best way we can try to find a way to create a better lens on what that situation looks like, what that dynamic, what that shift is for you guys. So definitely around that time where you're starting to understand that they're starting to become themselves, when they're starting to grow up a little more, or even if they're dealing with, if you see any type of disorder and you're seeing it more prevalent in their life as their everyday lives as well.
Yeah. I love when you said that people are always changing, and I think that's we're supposed to. We should always be evolving, right? And I
Yes.
know that is one of the things that tend to come up sometimes and with dealing with couples is,
Mm.
you're not the same, or you're always changing, or you've changed,
Yeah.
right? But the idea was that we should be changing, we should be evolving, but hopefully evolving, for the better, and
Yeah.
constantly learning each other at the different stages that we're changing into, that we're transitioning into, I should say. So
Yes.
it's exciting. Now you also do work with children as well, and I wanted to highlight that as well because marriage and family, it, like you said, it's the whole family dynamic. So
Absolutely.
could you talk about your work with children as well a little bit?
Yes, yeah, yeah. So I actually had the opportunity to, through CCD to do school based therapy. I've been at Keene Elementary. These are all schools in Delaware, by the way. So like Keene Elementary. I've been at McVeigh Elementary. Some middle schools. I went to Shumadill Middle School, and I also went to Gauger Middle School as well. And what I've learned through that time, just like is it's funny because a lot of those kids do have like different disorders that they're dealing with, but when I talk to them, they kind of feel as if they're like, a regular kid. And I think that's like the goal that I want to get everybody to understand that. Even though you have disorders, even though you have different situations going on in your life, if you're available to yourself to realize that you guys, that everybody has their own issues, but we can still be considered a regular person, and we can kind of navigate what is best for ourselves. But that's the best thing we could do. And that's my goal as a therapist, to make sure these kids understand that, that like they're not their issue, they're not what they're not necessarily diagnosed with, but they can be somebody outside of that situation and learn how to create a better space for them, learn how to create and learn how to create and understand coping skills for themselves as well, so they can like not be necessarily deemed as that person who who has anxiety, or a person who can be depressed or something like that. And a lot of times we label these kids or label these children from their reaction to whatever happened, but never give them like adequate tools and adequate coping skills to create better lifestyles and life interactions through these situations. So that's why I'm here.
Yes, I absolutely agree. In closing, could you please speak on the importance of normalizing therapy?
Yes. Yes. So the best way I can say this is like, I'll just put it in this way per se. I feel like at the end of the day, we all have, like I said, we all have our own problems, all have our own situations. And I will even go like a little step further. Like I said earlier, I'm somebody who actually believes in the faith, and I believe that there are certain situations where we try to navigate more so through our lens of like a higher power, by praying or fasting or doing what we can. And those are things are great. And I think that those things can definitely definitely help center yourself and understand what's going on. But I also believe that we are in a place where we have people who have been trained to understand how to help people navigate through these situations, whether it be through depression or through anxiety, through suicide ideation, or even through like different life situations. When it comes to marriage, if you're dealing with someone who was dealing with infidelity, or if you're dealing with someone who has to deal with divorce or whatever that may look like for you, a lot of times we try to navigate our these situations through our own lens, and sometimes it's good for us to have our own another party to just express what's going on. And also, like, we are educated in these ideas and these fashions as well. So, like, I know it's a lot to do that, to bring somebody else into your own personal life and your own situation, but I would definitely agree that therapy is definitely needed, not just for those specific types of communities, not for children who have disorders, but not just for the kids or the couples who are having a situation with the divorce or whatever that may look like. But even for us as African American people who are dealing with our own problems from, like, past traumas or past situations that we ever dealt with before. So it's in reality, and in closing as well, it's just good for us to have someone to talk to, and that's what therapy is. Therapy is a place for you to feel a little bit, I guess, unload and to feel very welcomed to the idea of helping somebody and learning how to receive help in that way. So that's my goal, and always possible.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Keegan. I appreciate it. Thank you for spending time with me in the therapy room this morning. And
No
listen,
problem.
guys, if you are looking for a therapist for your family, for your marriage, reach out to Keegan. He is
Yes.
here at the Center for Child Development and Delaware Center for Counseling and Wellness, and you can reach him at 302-292-1334, or simply just go to our website, thecenterforchilddevelopment.com, and fill out your consent form and request Keegan Myers. Thank you again, Keegan, for joining us. I really appreciate you. And thank you guys for tuning in to the therapy room. Until next time, have a blessed day.
See you guys.